welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and I'm here today with my March TBR. We have quite a bit to go over today. I have 12 or 13 books that I want to tackle in March. Is it possible? I think so. And I will explain to you my logic as we move forward in this video. First of all, we'll get the books that relate to content this month out of the way right away. So first we have Teach Me by Olivia Dade. This is the March pick for the Kiss and Tell book club. That is just a romance book club that I co-host with my friends Jenny, Zoe, and Dorothy. Every month we do a live show. I am not sure when the live show will be, but I will leave a link down below to the Discord channel if you would like to join and keep updated of when we have the discussions that we have. This month, and after this video is posted, we're doing Zodiac Academy, so the live show is like the Sundays. But basically, I don't know anything about this book and I don't know anything about Olivia Dade. This will be the first book from Olivia Dade I'm reading. I'm really excited because I have heard literally nothing but good things about Olivia Dade, or at least about her first debut book called Spoiler Alert. Nothing but good things. It follows two teachers, one named Rose and one named Martin. Rose is apprehensive of Martin's presence. She wants to be chilly and cold to him because one of the administrators gave Martin her history classes in order to scorn her in a way. But we know how it is. Obviously, trying to keep a distance from someone and having this little enemies to lovers is peak enjoyment. So I can't wait to read this. I can't wait to get into Olivia Dade. I'm so excited to pick this up. And then next we have the continuation of the reading through Rick Riordan verse. At this point, that's what it's going to be with me and my friend Honani. This month we are starting the Kane Chronicles, which is really exciting. It is a series that I did not know existed until I started on this venture of Rick Riordan. So I will leave a link up above to the announcement video for the Kane Chronicles and in what month we will be reading them. But the first book, The Red Pyramid, follows a brother and sister duo named Carter and Sadie who have kind of become near strangers after their mother's death. Sadie lives in London with her grandparents and Carter travels the world with their Egyptologist uncle named Dr. Julius Kane. Dr. Kane brings the siblings together for a research experiment at the British Museum and instead he unleashes an Egyptian god. So obviously the Egyptian mythos comes into play in this and I'm really excited. I was one of those kids that loved Egyptian mythology and I'm very excited to pick this up and see how Rick Riordan tackles it. So obviously this month you can expect some sort of reading sprints, some sort of vlog from me for this book. Next, we're going to talk about the arcs that I don't necessarily think I will read all of. It will be a blessing if I do, but I have 3 arcs that I need to get to this month to at least read them within a time frame of their publication. So the first of which, and the one that I will probably get to the most and probably pick it up soon, is Immortality, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. I read Anatomy, a Love Story, which was her debut novel last year, I believe. I think it was one of the first books I read in 2022 and I absolutely devoured it. I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. So obviously when I saw that this was available on NetGalley, I clicked that little request please because I am so excited to see how the story continues. But just for your knowledge, Anatomy, a Love Story, the series, I guess, follows 2 characters, one named Hazel and one named Jack. Hazel is studying or trying to study to be a surgeon and she wants to be a surgeon more than anything, more than she wants to marry. But obviously for a woman in the 1800s in Edinburgh, it's a bit of a challenge. In comes Jack, who is a resurrection man, and in the time frame of when people were studying to become surgeons, resurrection men were kind of a bittersweet type of job because people needed corpses to study for their surgeon roles. But obviously nobody wants to be a resurrection man. And the story unfolds from there. It is part horror-y, gothic mystery, part romance. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. So I obviously can't wait to jump back into their story with Immortality. After that, we have another arc that I'm super excited about. If you know anything about me, I am a Shakespeare whore. So obviously when I saw Enter the Body by Joy McCullough, I knew immediately I needed to request this. The premise is what really got to me. So I just want to read it word for word because I think that it is super interesting and it's what definitely got me to request this book. So in the room beneath a stage's trapdoor, all of Shakespeare's tragically dead teenage girls, Juliet, Ophelia, Cordelia, and others, compare their experiences and retell the stories of their lives in their own terms. Enter the Body gives voice to a cast of young women who die in Shakespeare's most iconic plays. McCullough brilliantly weaves retellings of Shakespeare's plays into a larger story about how young women can support each other in the aftermath of trauma. I need to pick this up. I definitely think this is going to be a 5-star read. I cannot express the excitement I have to read this. It definitely sounds like it's going to be historical fiction, which I love, retelling of Shakespeare, which I am a slut for, and obviously themes of feminism and whatnot. So very excited to pick this up. And then lastly, we have a young adult fantasy book. So one of my goals this year is really try to get back into YA. And I think I've just been like overrun with young adult fantasy books that all feel the same. So I really want to try to read some new ones, read some different ones. So this is The Witch and the Vampire by Francesca Flores. And this is a queer Rapunzel retelling where a witch and a vampire who trust no one but themselves must journey together through a cursed forest with danger at every turn. So right now the premise does sound very stereotypical. Ava and Kay used to be best friends until one night vampires broke through the magical barrier protecting their town, and ensuing the attack, Ava was turned into a vampire. As well, in the attack, Kay's mother was killed. Since then, Ava has been trapped in her house, and her mother Eugenia needs her because Ava still has her witch powers, and Eugenia must take them in order to hide that she's a vampire as well. Desperate to escape her confinement and stop her mother's plans to destroy the town, Ava must break out, flee to the forest, and seek help from the vampires who live there. So I'm sensing sapphic romance. I'm sensing best friends to enemies to lovers. So I'm really hoping that I end up enjoying this. I'm very worried about it often because fairy tale retellings haven't really been working for me in the YA space right now. So I'm really hoping that this will break the mold, but we will see. Then we're gonna move into chonkers that I want to read this month. So the first of which is very clearly the huge one for the month. I really want to read Oathbringer by Brandy Sandy. This is the third book in the Stormlight Archive, which is Brandon Sanderson's like epic tale. It's going to be 10 books. Each books are like 1,500 pages. This is going to be a girthy bitch, and I'm ready. I already divided it into the weeks of the month so that I can keep up with it. I find that to be the most effective for me. It doesn't feel as overbearing because I'm only reading like 200 to 250 pages per week, which is well within what I try to read anyways per week. So I definitely think I could get this done. The Stormlight Archive is really hard to describe. I find like I'm the worst at describing it, but basically it follows a bunch of people who are kind of intertwined, but they live in a world where storms are kind of rampant among the land, and it follows individuals who are in contact with these creatures called Spren, and Sprens kind of harness the energies or are the energies of the world. Listen, just know that this is an epic tale, and it has a really in-depth and large magic system, and it stems from the fall and death of a king, okay? And that's all I will get into because I don't know what else counts as spoilers, all right? But this is the third book. I'm very excited for it. There was a lot of revelations at the end of Words of Radiance, and I do want to catch up with the Cosmere. I want to be like in the know like everybody else. So one of my goals this year is to really like focus on Brandy Sandy. I need to fit this in because otherwise I will be way more behind than I would like to be. So hopefully I can pick this up. And then the other ginormous tome is Chasing Shadows. And this is a alien machine-y type of sci-fi by Tom DeLonge. If you don't know who Tom DeLonge is, he is the lead singer on again, off again of Blink-182. He definitely is one of my favorite musicians. And I am here for all this crackpot and conspiracy theorist ideologies. And one of his biggest well-known conspiracy theories, if it's a conspiracy theory at this point, I'm on Tom DeLonge's side, that aliens exist. He is very devout in proving that aliens exist. And from what I understand, this is like a fictionalized version of his understandings of aliens in the world. And it's also written by AJ Hartley, who I also believe is the actual writer of this book. I don't think it's actually Tom DeLonge. But the reason I'm reading this chonker alongside Oathbringer, which you could say, Kelsey, that's really stupid. But the reason I'm doing that is because it's the only book on my TBR that has the word secret in it. And secret is the buzzword for the Buzzwordathon this month, hosted by Books and Lala. Every month there is a buzzword. This month it's secret. This is the only book I have with this word, and I so far have successfully completed the Buzzwordathon every time it happens. So I will not be giving up. I will be reading this book. So let's see what it's about. The first book in the multimedia Secret Machines franchise that will reveal fascinating secrets surrounding the true, well-documented events of unidentified aerial phenomenon in a powerful collaboration with top government advisors. For those who know that something is going on, the witnesses are legion, scattered across the world and dotted through history. People who looked up and saw something impossible lighting up the sky. What those objects were, where they came from, and who or what they might be inside them is the subject of fierce debate and equally fierce mockery, so that most who glimpsed them came to wish they hadn't. Most, but not everyone. Is this nonfiction or is this fiction? I don't know. but I'm very keen to figure it out. I listened to a bit of it on audio this morning, and I think I'm just gonna have to re-listen to it and see what happens. I'm very scared to pick this up, but I love Tom DeLonge and I love like reading about aliens and stuff like that. So we'll see where this takes me. Now you might be saying, Kelsey, that's a lot of books. Yeah, for sure. But I'm deciding that I'm going to read a sprinkle of this, a sprinkle of that. So to sprinkle in to all those sprinkles, I have a bunch of middle grade books that I would also like to tackle this month. March is usually reserved for middle grade March. And I put a couple of middle grades on here. I think middle grades, not that they are easier to read because they are lesser than adult and YA books, but just simply because of font size and length. I think I can handle reading all of those and also a bunch of middle grades. So the first book is Front Desk by Kelly Yang. First of all, this was gifted to me by the lovely Esme, so thank you so much, Queen. But Front Desk, I believe, is also one of her favorite middle grades. But this follows a young girl named Mia Tang who lives in a motel while her parents clean the rooms. Mia manages the front desk. Her parents also hide immigrants, and if the mean motel owner, Mr. Yao, finds out that they've been letting them stay in empty rooms for free, the Tangs will be doomed. Mia also wants to be a writer, but how can she when her mom thinks she should stick to math because English is not her first language? It will take all of Mia's courage, kindness, and hard work to get through this year. This book has won awards. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Everybody I know that has read this book has loved it. So I'm very, very, very keen to pick this up, and I think I also going to absolutely adore this book. After that, we have another pretty popular middle grade series. This is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. I have heard mixed things about this, but mostly good. So I'm really hoping that I like it. And I think this has a pretty like standard middle grade synopsis. So 12-year-old Sophie Foster has a secret. She is a telepath and has a unique ability to hear the thoughts of everyone around her. But everything changes the day she meets Fitz, a mysterious boy who appears out of nowhere and also reads minds. She discovers that there's somewhere she does belong, and staying where she is will put her in grave danger. I think this has something to do with elves. I really want to pick this up. My friend Danny over at Current Chapter really likes this series, so I'm hoping that I really enjoy it as well. Then we have a middle grade that I just love the cover. I love witches, so I just wanted to really pick this up and see what it's about. This is Eva Evergreen, Semi-Magical Witch by Julie Abe. So Eva Evergreen is a little witch who is determined to rank novice at her 13th birthday. Otherwise, she is going to lose magic forever. The only problem is that Eva only has a little pinch of magic within her. In order to prove that she is a fully magical witch, Eva sets up this plan to save what I understand is like a little corner shop in her town. I'm very excited for this. I really hope I enjoy it. It seems really sweet, so I'm hoping I like it. Another book that I'm really hoping to read this month and I know is going to be really impactful is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. I literally have never heard one single bad thing about this book. So obviously I'm very keen to pick it up. I think this is going to be, out of all the books, the one that will probably make me cry this month. So I'm a little apprehensive. It's why I haven't picked it up in a really long time. But I just know that this is going to be really meaningful. This novel starts within a small town where every year they leave a baby for the witch in the wood to kind of take so that she won't bother them. She'll leave the town alone and they'll be safe. The catch is that this witch is like, why are these people leaving these babies around for me? I don't know anything about them. The witch kind of rescues these babies and sends them off to loving families that live outside of the town, outside of the forest. One year, the witch accidentally feeds one of the babies moonlight that turns her into this like magical being, and the witch decides, okay, I guess I'm gonna take care of her myself. This sounds like it's going to be super fun, but also super like folklory and cozy, so I'm very excited to pick this up. This is probably one of the middle grades that I've been the most excited to pick up, but also the most scared because I am, like I said, really scared that it's gonna break me. And then finally, the last book I'm going to read this month. This was gifted to me by my friend Danny over at Current Chapter because we both really like this series, but I need to catch up. I need to read Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. Now, I absolutely love the Morgan Crow series. It is one of my favorite new middle grade series. So it's a bit disgusting of me to be as behind as I am, which is only by one book. But the Nevermore series basically follows a young girl named Morgan Crow. Morgan is set to die on the eve of her 11th birthday. However, as Morgan is slowly awaiting her fate, a strange man named Jupiter North appears at her door. Jupiter whisks her away to this magical land called Nevermore, and Morgan discovers that she is in for a bit more than she bargains for. I love this series. I can't wait to continue. It's absolutely up my alley and will keep me tied over until the next book comes out. So I'm very excited to pick this up and finally get to it. So that's it. Those are all of the books that I plan to read in March. I'm hoping I can get to all of them, but we'll see how it goes. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down below in the comments. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Warn me what I'm going into. But if you would like to follow my journey, my reading journey on any of my other social medias, I do leave a link down below to my Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram if you would like to follow me there. And of course, because it is the end of the video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. I tell you every time, it does wonders for my channel. It makes me feel really good. And that's it. I never know how to end these videos, especially when I am embarrassed that I've just announced that I will plan to read 13 books. But I will see you next time. Okay, bye.